CA. But why CA? An interesting point. It's a very interesting point. Nobody analyzed what that kid wanted. What was his talent or interest? No. CA because someone in the family did CA 15 years ago and today he is making good money. So what will happen now? This is not his inner voice. The problem is not that everyone said. The problem is that he also got scared. He said, let me do what everyone is saying. No, why take a risk? Why take a risk? If something goes wrong, then who will take the blame? Right? So he opted for CA. Now he is doing CA, but completing it is a big task for him because he has no interest in it. And on the other hand, if he would have done engineering, then today or tomorrow, just the way he was reassembling computers, he would have reassembled an aeroplane as well. Now, we all have understood that we can do anything. We have heard our inner voice. Internally, we know what we want to do. But then also, after having a fertile land and seeds in our hands, if we don't sow these seeds, will something happen? Nothing. If we don't take an action. Worldwide, a lot of researchers have proved that 90% people who failed have one big reason, one common reason, and that is that they don't even try. They don't even try. It means that they have the seeds in their hand and keep on thinking to sow or not to sow, sow or not to sow, sow or not to sow, or wait for the right time to sow. And they keep on thinking. So they don't fail because they did something, but fail because they wanted to, but never did it throughout life. Right? Now we understand that the problem is not taking an action. Let me ask all of you, why don't we take an action? We know we have to do this, still we don't do it. Why? It's one word, one word. Fear. Risk. And that's completely genuine. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's completely right. Because we are not alone. Today your inner voice says, I must do this. You also have your family, your house, kids and everything. How will you do it? There is a risk involved. Rubbish. All rubbish. I don't buy it. Why so? Because there is nothing known as risk in this whole world. God or whoever created this world didn't make anything by the name of risk. It is man who is creating risk for his own self. We are ourselves creating risky situations for ourselves and are getting scared of them. A little kid who is just born, we tell him impatiently, everybody encourages him to run. Run kid, run. What will happen to the kid? He'll break apart. He'll fall. Right? It's risky. But if that kid is given time and he is told to start by crawling, slowly, slowly, then walk holding a finger, then walk and then run. Is there a risk then? Not at all. Yes or no? No. Here is an interesting thing that happened with me 5 years ago. One of my friends came who had done MBA finance. I asked, what's up man? He said, nothing man, it all looks fit, but life is shit. I said, what happened? He was actually very tense. He said, I'm not happy. The 9 or 10 hours in office are so suffocating. I have no interest in this finance field, no. And it's really bad. And by the time I come home, I take all my frustration out on my wife and everybody. I just lose it and get irritated. I said, okay. It seems that you need to do something else or think of something else. So he said, that's why I have come to you. And I asked, what have you thought of? He said, man, but will you be willing to help me? I said, come on, man, just say it. I'll do whatever I can. So he said, I think I should learn photography just the way you did. Will you teach me? I said, that is fine. I'll teach you. But why do you want to do photography leaving finance aside? Why photography? Any reason? He said, because you do photography and stay very happy. I said, great. So it's decided. You come to my studio from tomorrow. I teach you photography. But do one more thing from tonight. Start eating bitter gourd as well. Some fresh bitter gourds, nicely cooked. He said, what are you saying, man? I said, it's clear, no. It's clear. I stay happy by eating bitter gourds as well. So do everything that I like to do. I said, listen man, you were about to make the same mistake you did many years ago. I said, I'll make you see 100,000 photographers, 100,000 who do photography like me and are not happy at all. For them, photography is just work, nothing else. And I said, I'll show you 100,000 people who do what you have been doing from the field of finance and are very happy. Very happy. It means that no work is interesting or boring in itself. It all depends on your interest. What do you like? Anything that is from inside is good for you. And if not, then it's all waste for you. And so he got it somewhat. He said that I don't get it, all this inner voice thing and what all you say, how to listen to my inner voice. There is no inner voice inside me. It's a genuine problem. Now there is no voice, what will you do? I said, look, I'll make it simpler for you that how to listen to your inner voice. Any such work that you can do without getting tired, non-stop, 12 out of 24 hours in a day, without bothering about money, whether earning more or less, and still be happy about it, that is your inner voice. So he smiled a bit. I saw his eyes lit up. He smiled and said, this is great man, but there is only one such work that I can do for 12 out of 24 hours. I said, what is it? He said, I am very fond of eating. I walked up to him and touching his bulging tummy, I said, well, I can see that. I said, I would have known it anyway. He said, come on man, I'm serious. I said, okay, tell me now. He said, what I mean to say is that I'm not just fond of eating, but cooking as well. Cooking is something I can do for 24 hours. Everyone at home makes fun of me. Why do you keep roaming like a cook? But I just love cooking. I said, cool, so do something related to cooking. What's the problem? Do it. He said, yeah man, thanks for the idea. I said, I didn't give it to you. You gave it to yourself. So he said, now what I'll do is, you wait and watch. Now I'll open a big restaurant in a big shopping mall. So I asked, how will you go about it? Buy a space or take it on rent? He said, come on man, you know I don't have that much money to buy a space. Obviously, rent is the only option. I said, okay, take it on rent. Still, it's not a big investment, no? Just assume the rent of a big restaurant in a big shopping mall, like 200,000 rupees as rent. Just 5 million rupees is all you need. You must be having that much on you. Just calculate, no? He started calculating. All my savings from here and there, taking from dad, borrowing it from friends. 3 to 4,100 rupees I can manage. I said, great man, you're just about there. Great man. Okay, 3 to 400,000 rupees from here. And what about the remaining money? He thought a lot and said, I think dad won't mortgage the home for it. I said, you lost it, man. Just think of something else, man. He said, I'll make a proposal of my restaurant and go to a bank for a loan. And I'm sure I'm going to get one. I smiled. I smiled and said, my brother, bank only lends money to those who actually don't need that money. Right. On what basis will you apply for a loan? On what basis? He said, yeah man, I think you're right. I won't get a loan. So what to do? I think it's really difficult. Leave it. I said, why is it difficult? He said, no money na. I said, why? You just said you have the money. He said, no, I didn't. I said, no, you said there is money. What about those 3 to 400,000 rupees? He said, but they are not enough to open a restaurant. I said, who told you to open a restaurant? Out of these 3 to 400,000 rupees, you can keep aside 100,000 rupees and open a nice stall with the remaining money. A nice stall. He said, come on man, I'm MBA finance, I won't put up a stall. I said, why? What's the problem? Put up a nice stall. He said, no man, I can't put up a stall. Try and understand. I said, I am understanding it, but you are not. Let me explain that why you don't want to put up a stall. You know if you put up a stall, you will be happy. You will enjoy it. You will cook food, serve it, and people will pour in. And today or tomorrow, you will open up a big restaurant as well from that stall, and you know it. But then also you won't do it. You know why? Because you are thinking that what will my father-in-law say that I got my daughter married to an MBA finance and he has put up a roadside stall. Right? I said this is the reason, no? That what will he think? What will your family think? What will your wife think? What will everyone think? Great, keep thinking. He said, yeah man, you are right, but still I can't put up a stall. Not a stall. Now this is a big problem. Everyone's falling prey to what will people say. What are they? The biggest problem. The biggest. I asked, do you remember what happened when I started photography? At that time, the whole world laughed on me. The whole world. Including my family, my relatives, even my friends. Wherever I went, people used to say, look at him man. Hey man, take 10 rupees and click my photograph. There was a stage when you would